Hi everyone, welcome back to Chop's Garage. So I've been so quiet for so long, so let's update you on what's been happening because it has been busy. First up, you guys told me to take a little foray into vans. It's pouring rain, so we won't go over very long, but we got the Mercedes Vito and we got the Ford Custom, Transit Custom. Vito's still for sale, but I got them both MOT'd and they flew through their MOT, so I decided to lower the price, be really keen on the price, and as soon as I did the Transit, that one, even though it's got 118,000 miles, that's got 75,000, the phone started ringing off the hook yesterday. Let's get out of the rain. Started absolutely ringing off the hook, messages left, right and centre, and we ran into that old problem of first come, first served, because I had all kinds of issues today. So what happened was, phone was ringing off the hook. Somebody rang yesterday and said, Van asked me a load of questions, said, right, if I'm going to come and look at it tomorrow morning, I'll give you a phone call. So I said, no problem at all. In the meanwhile, I started to get messages through on Messenger via the Facebook advertising. Lady said, I want to come and see it tomorrow at 11 o'clock. Said, no problem, I'll book it in. Another chap message said, I want to come and see it on Saturday, I can't get there before. I said, well, I'll have to let you know if it sells in between. Another chap said he wanted to part exchange his Vivaro van in, but it had a load of faults, could I give him a value on that? So I need to look up the pricing on that and get back to him on it. So roll on this morning, we're about 10 to 11, chap rocks up. I'm thinking it's the customer to come and see the van. Slightly strange because it was a lady messaging me. No, it's the chap that called me and said he'd ring me in the morning first before he came to see the van. Well, he didn't. He said he just decided to rock up anyway. I said, well, I can't let you see it. I said, got a lady message me, wants to come and see it at 11 o'clock, so she's running a bit late, but she is going to be here. So you can have a look over it, but I can't sell it to you until she's come here because she's on the way from Taunton. So he said, oh, right, okay, that's a bit of a shame. He said, you know, I am here now. I said, well, no. I said, you said you were going to ring beforehand. I'm afraid that I've got to honour what I said to the lady that's travelling. He goes off, and then I messaged the lady, said, look, you're coming about 11:30 now. I'm going, are you coming? Oh, no, I'm not going to be there now. I've had a bit of a family emergency on it. Thanks for letting me know. I've just turned away a customer on the basis you were coming at 11 o'clock because I didn't want to do the dirty on you and sell a car from under you when you were travelling. Luckily, I had the telephone number of the previous guy and was able to ring him, and he'd only gone up the road for lunch, for breakfast, sorry, and decided to come down and have another look at the van. But this, people, is why, if you aren't prepared to put a deposit down on the car and you start to travel out to have a look at it, someone should absolutely be able to sell it out from under you. Now, this van's just turned up here. I guarantee you what this van is here. This van is going to be about the other van, and they're not going to have rung me beforehand. No, that's my key cutting service, so we're okay. No, actually, I forgot, that's my key cutting service turning up, so fantastic. Getting a second key cut for the Transit. So back to what I was saying, if you're not prepared to put a deposit down on a vehicle that potentially is non-refundable as well, that's the only way that you're going to get someone to hold a car for you, because you might say you're going to come down and see a vehicle, but if a dealer in the meanwhile is turning other people away on the basis you're coming down, then your plans change, he's stuffed, he could potentially lose a sale. So the only way to hold a vehicle is to put a non-refundable deposit down on it and take that chance. Otherwise, if you're setting off to see a vehicle over distance, you have to live with the fact it could sell while you're on the way. As it stands, I got hold of the chap because I still had a telephone number. He came back from having his breakfast. He's taken the van for a test drive and he's purchased it. He did say, he didn't say in the advert it didn't include VAT, but I showed him in the advert that it clearly did say it showed the VAT. Tried to negotiate with him. I said, look, the phone is ringing off the hook on this van. So I'm obviously clearly underpriced it, because that when the phone starts ringing like that, you know you've underpriced it. So the only thing I'd say is it's not got a second key. So I will get a second key done for you, because obviously at trade rates I can get them cheaper than anybody else can. Anyway, like I say, we've got a lot to catch up on. We're going to go back and forth a little bit in this video. You're going to see cars that I haven't mentioned yet kicking around the place because it has been that crazy busy over the last week. Just all hell broke loose. Everybody wanted cars, and everybody wanted cars that aren't even prepped yet to be ready. So let's get cracking and tell you what's been happening. First thing to update you on is the charity side of things. So if you're new to Chop's Garage, you haven't seen this before, if you're regular viewers, you'll know about this. We do raffles with cars and other bits and bobs, and we were trying to raise 10 grand. I think we started this about six months ago, didn't we? So we did one for North Devon Hospice, the Grand Appeal, for the food bank, local food bank, for the Canine Focus, Blind Veterans is the latest one I haven't updated on. We did a giveaway on a launch diagnostics machines to support the blind veterans. The figure for that was 520. 100% of the proceeds from that one went to the charity. That was 520. So the big news is that we've busted our 10 grand target early. We're at £10,062 so we have busted past our 10k target. But the Jaguar raffle was just ended, so let's have a look at how much we raised with the Jaguar raffle. So we raffled off the Jaguar XJ. That was picked up by Adrian and taken to its new owner. I forgot to ask him to video the handover. I have asked the new owner to send me a picture of him with the car, so hopefully I'll be able to show you that soon. But the Jaguar went off, he absolutely chuffed with it apparently, so it's even better than it was in the picture. So glad that went to a good home. So let's get the figures from that and update our chart again. So from that we raised 2,594.25, but the raffle did even better than expected. Because of an expensive car, I set a percentage to charity donation based on what I thought ticket sales might be, but they were higher than I expected. Don't forget, sorry, I haven't said, this was to support Sophie's Legacy, and Sophie's Legacy is the charity set up after that little 10-year-old, bless her, died of cancer, and she wanted to be able to help families when their children in hospital as well, because they weren't getting support on food and accommodation, that kind of thing. So fantastic charity. We were supporting Kitch over on the Up and Down channel with his 24-hour or 25-hour live stream, which raised, I think it was like 15 grand or more on that, which was fantastic. So we raised 2,594.25 via the Jaguar raffle, but it did better than I expected, and I didn't want to go and make a load of money out of it on the car, so I have committed to giving, well, I've already transferred Kitch an additional amount. Let me just confirm exactly what it was. Yep, I gave him another £891 on top of the proceeds that I already transferred from the raffle itself, so I put that on top. Massive thanks to everyone who supported that. It was a really good raffle. I guess it's because people actually wanted the car this time rather than it being a more random car. The person that actually won the raffle actually wanted the car, which is a first, so we need to decide what the next one we're going to do is. But let's update our total here, because we have smashed our goal. Total, that was 3,485 and 20 pence to Sophie's Legacy. That was the total for that charity. So from our little old channel, we are now at 13,000. Let me just confirm the rest of the figure. £547.29. I'd like to try and pretend I did that in my head, but I didn't, guys. It's on the calculator. So I've just got a, again, massive thanks to everybody. Look at all these people that have been able to benefit from you guys getting involved in those raffles. Look how much we've been able to give away. And the year isn't over yet. I reckon we've got time for one more raffle. Could we do over £15,000 in donations to charities? I think we can. So later in the video, I'm going to give you a couple of options of a couple of cars that I think might do well as charity raffles. And like I say, we'll see if we can't get one more in before the end of the year and bust that figure wide open. So we're saying bye to the Jaguar. Adrian's here, A&K Van Services. John opted to have Adrian deliver it to him rather than come down here. How far is it got to go away again, Adrian?
All the way up to Liverpool.
Liverpool. It's going all the way up to Liverpool. And from what I understand, it's going to be his wife's daily, which is brilliant news. Great to hear that it's going to get used. It's such a fantastic looking car. Petey's over there. He's having a little bit of a weep because he's been loving it. He hadn't seen it before. And yeah, he's in really, really nice condition. It's not immaculate, but for its age, it is. I mean, the interior I'd say is immaculate. It is absolutely fantastic. So well done to John for that, and well done to everyone for the support for the raffle. We just need to choose what charity for the next raffle, don't we? And what car. Now for me, this was a contender. The RS Twingo. It is number 50 of 50 of the limited edition Silverstone Twingos. This is the RS, so it's the 133 brake horsepower sort of warm hatch Twingos. I guess you'd call them warm hatches. Just been down to Moores. We've got a big invoice from them for it. About £900, I think it was. Cam belt and water pump were done. I think some brake lines were done. I can't remember if any tyres were done. All the filters are done. So again, advisory free MOT on this now, all set to go for the new owner. I was thinking that would make potentially a good raffle prize, because it is a car that's not going to be hugely expensive to run, a lot of fun. It could be your daily and your track day car, or just Sunday sprints out. So comment down below if people think that would be a good choice for the next raffle, and for what charity we should support. One idea I have had is to find somewhere local, rather than specify a particular charity at this point, is maybe find somewhere local, and wouldn't it be great to take a load of cash and go and buy a load of stuff and give it to people? I'd really like to do that. That'd be quite an enjoyable thing to do. If we could find some genuinely, maybe some kids that, you know, they come from low income households or something like that, where they're not going to get fantastic Christmas presents, if you're able to go and just buy a ton of really good stuff and give that away, that would be awesome. I'm not quite sure how you'd find who to do that with. Perhaps again you could suggest down below, or perhaps you've got some other ideas. In terms of other raffle cars, I don't know that we've got anything particularly interesting that would raffle as an alternative. My only other thought was something really run-of-the-mill but a lot newer, low miles, and might appeal to everyone, would be the Citroen C1. So that's that one here. 40,000 miles, Citroen C1 would make someone's first car, fantastic first car, make a great family runabout. I think that might be a car that people would be interested in. So let me know that versus the RS Twingo, and also what charity you'd like to support. So we got 3 glasses Pete in again today, and he's back on the Citroen now. Got the right size brake cylinders. He's been stripping the brakes down. He says I need wheel bearings, ideally, because he says they're a bit noisy. So we might get those a bit later on. I think we just get running and driving for the moment. And I'm on the MGB because although the wheels look like they fitted, when I drove it out of the unit yesterday, I heard the rear wheels contacting with the edge of the arch. So I've got to trim them back, take a big brave pill, start trimming bodywork back. So you can see here, I've started measuring up where I'm going to cut. I only need a little bit more, and fingers crossed it goes all right, because the inner skin on the MGB comes and welds to this outer skin. If we go too high, we'll end up with a gap underneath here all the way along. We're trying to stay within that at the moment. Idea is I cut this, then I've got that piece of tape to put on the other side and do exactly the same shape. He's in again. He's becoming a fixture of this place. He's only got one set of glasses on, so again we know things aren't too serious. We got the Jag in. I was driving it home and it made a big noise and went into limp mode. So I stopped and put a little sign in the window so I didn't annoy people as I was driving along at 5 miles an hour. Actually, to be fair, this evening limp mode has got plenty of grunt. So we think it's something relating to turbo, relating to pressure. I haven't plugged it into check yet, but we have noticed that this seems to be slightly off kilter again. This fitting at the top here, which seems to happen a lot on this Jag for some reason. So just got to pull that clip up there a bit and see if it wants to sit back on again better. Look for the simple stuff first. Pete's been underneath and can't spot any pipes underneath. I thought it sounded like it blew from underneath the car, and we've had an EGR done recently, so I thought perhaps the EGR pipe had come loose or something, but Pete's going to manhandle that back on again. We'll put the clip on and clear the code and see how we get on. But this one needs to go now because I'm using the Range Rover all the time. Oh dear, bad news. All our boost is escaping from here because it's all cracked. That's what these do. We had the other side done before. Now it's blown that side. These plastic covers, what are they? What would you class them as? Rocker covers? Plastic rock covers? Yeah. Whatever. Anyway, no, they can't be that. Sorry, they're an intake, aren't they? Sorry. They're an intake where it takes the boost pressure in there. We've had that one down, that one blew. Now this one's blown. If I hold the torch there, you can see it cracks in the plastic all the way along. It's basically split open. So we'll have to go into the Moors, boys, and see if they've got another one. It's what these 2.7s are renowned for doing this, aren't they?
Is this 2.7 or 3?
Oh, sorry, this is a 3, isn't it? They're renowned for doing these. If anybody puts one up on eBay and says it's an easy fix, it's not. You can see it's blown sort of oil and all kinds of crud all down the side. So we'll have to get it and get it done. I think that probably means I'll have to keep it by the time I put that extra money in it. It's not going to be worth selling. Might as well just keep it as a second car, I think. Second car, he says. Third or fourth car. So just to cover this point while we're on it, so let's say this has been something I'd sent out retail wise and someone had had it a couple of months and that happened, it wouldn't be covered because it was obviously not happening at point of sale. That's just happened. It's 150 odd thousand miles. It's 13 years old, and if it worked well for months and then that had just gone boom and cracked, then unfortunately that is just part and parcel of owning one of these engines. You couldn't expect a dealer to be responsible. A third-party warranty might cover it because it is an unexpected breakage and it has happened without warning, but there's not many warranty companies that would warranty a 150,000 mile car. So that's why you really can't retail this kind of thing. So can't do much with the Jag at the moment. So what we've done instead is got the old MGB up on the lift and stripped the stuff off the Sebring shell at the back. The reason for this is that project's going nowhere fast at the moment. This one is all sorted bodywork wise and engine wise, but it's got old suspension on it. Nothing's been upgraded. What I have here off the Sebring is the rear axle I built up for the Sebring, which is absolutely brand new. British Leyland Racing spec rear springs. I did all the drum brakes. Well, that's all new. All the brake pipes are brand new. Everything's new. All the bushings are brand new. And in the front end, we've taken off as well, because the front end, again, I built up with new kingpins, new polyurethane bushes, new discs and pads, everything all ready to go. Cleaned out the lever arms, put fresh fluid in those, so they're all set to go. So basically, we're going to swap everything over. But we do have to swap all of this onto the other subframe because the subframe on the Mazda has been cut. You see it there? It's been cut to allow for the sump on the Mazda engine. But you can see all the stuff here, like all the bushings, they're all old and crusty and nasty. Nothing here has been upgraded. It doesn't drive as nicely as it should. So it's worth swapping all that over and making the one MGB exactly how I want it to be. So that's what we're cracking on with for the moment. So while Pete's tinkering with the MGB, I'm on to the Suzuki Swift. It's come back advisory free MOT. I just said to the couple that I would machine polish the side of the car, the hedge side of the car, which I've got to do. Now, an interesting one I've never been asked for before is they spotted some it looks a lot worse than it was because I've obviously scraped away now, but they spotted a little bit of bubbling on the suspension turret. And they said, was there anything I could do about it? I said, well, I could wire brush it down and treat it. So I've taken a screwdriver and I've scraped off the paint, scraped it back as far as I can, and then wire brushed it. I've done the same on the other side. There's just a little bit here on this turret. I did spot a little bit back there. I'm going to treat that. They said they weren't bothered about whether it was body coloured or not. I don't think I've got the right colour for that, so I could colour the whole thing in black wax oil, mask it off down here, cover the whole thing in black wax oil to make it look uniform on both sides, but it might be more of a struggle here because I've had to undo that to get in there. So keep it simple, stupid, don't cause myself a problem. When they said they weren't worried about it being body coloured, then perhaps I should just treat it with the, I'm going to do rust converted and I'll put some wax on there. But I'll try and, like I say, do it as neatly as possible. I've never been asked for that before, so crack on, do that, move it inside, and then give it machine polish. So that's the cure rust now on. It's going to turn black as it converts it. Once that's dried out thoroughly, then I'll decide what I want to do to tart it up a bit. I'm trying to stay as clean as possible, not get it anywhere else. We'll move it inside for the moment and let that dry off, and then we can machine polish the side of the body while that's converting. So while we got in there, done a few other things, started wet sanding the headlights, make them nice and bright. Had a mark which I thought went through the paint here, but it didn't. I've wet sanded it with 2500 and it's gone. So now I'll machine polish that out, so they'll be pleased about it because I told them I couldn't get that out. So when they come and pick it up, that'll be a nice little value add for them. Oh, and here as well, someone had touched in a scratch on a door quite badly. There's too much paint. So I've just wet sanded that with a 1200 and taken back all the additional paint that was all over the place, and it blends in much nicer now. This is the curse of actually enjoying fixing up cars, because you end up going way too far with stuff because they were happy with it as it is. That's obviously still going off at the moment, so we'll touch that in a bit. So now I'm going to machine polish down that side, machine polish those bits I've wet sanded, then give it a coating of the GT Shine ceramic coating, then come and touch those bits in, tyre shine on, quick hoover around the inside, and then we'll tuck it away ready for their pickup. So for polishing, we're going to be using the, this is quite a cheap polisher actually, the Von House polisher. And the only thing I found worth using the polishing, which is the 3M green pads, and the 3M Fast Cut Extreme. I've tried every combination of pads and compounds, and I've not found anything to better this yet. Obviously speed is important for me. I can't be doing it 3 or 4 times over. This does it pretty much on the first pass, so can't recommend it enough. If you are doing some polishing work, if you want to get the paintwork up on your car, go for these. As always, these will be in my Amazon shop. I'll put a link to my Amazon shop down below. But yeah, like I say, I've spent lots of money trying to find the right things. I need to get some new ones, these actually, and this is the combination that works the best without a shadow of a doubt. There you go, if you doubted it, look how it's brought the headlight up in that front wing where it had light scratches before. Still got some dust on it, and down there as well where I did that wet sanding. Just is the fastest way of bringing paint up and looking fantastic. Now I will stress before you start going, oh, the guy that sold me a car, he didn't machine polish the side of the car, this, that and the other. This isn't financially viable. The customer was happy, pretty much happy with the car when they turned up in the condition it was. I give myself extra work for no real reason. So don't blame other dealers for not doing it. Think I'm stupid for doing it. That's probably the more accurate way of looking at it, because you just couldn't sell cars this price point and machine polish the whole thing. To pay a valeter to do a job like this, you're looking £300 odd to do the whole car. It is hours of work, so yeah, don't be berating other dealers for not doing it. Just think I'm daft for doing so. Right, we should be able to treat these turrets now, I think. So I'm at Moores. I've got the Fabia here, getting its MOT work done. This was not a good move, retailing this Fabia. We're doing tyres all round, discs and pads all round. As you see, the boys have got the discs on already. Just rear drums on the back, and they're doing tyres all the way around. So this should have been something just to punt out to another trader. I'm plowing a lot of cash into this because we're servicing it as well, and yeah. With all this cleaning going on, I always need my tunes on, but my stereo's just died. Lucky I got my backup portable speaker, but that was flat as well. And I always shout out about Top John jump packs being great, but what I forgot to tell you in most of the videos is that not only do they jump your car, but they have 2 USB outputs. So if you're stuck without power anywhere, then you can use these to charge up your mobile phones, charge up your speakers, charge up your laptops, all that kind of stuff. One reason I mentioned now is obviously it's coming up Christmas. If you're thinking of a gift for somebody, these are normally £57, but my contact at Top John, Katrina's got me a discount to take them down to £47. It is a limited offer. I'll put along the bottom of the screen here how long that runs for. But yeah, great to have around. These small ones are fantastic for carrying around with you in a glove box in case you think you ever might need to jump start a car, but also great for charging up your devices if you're out and about. Perhaps some of you take camping trips, that kind of thing. They're cracking for that as well. So I'll put a link in the video description down below. They have given me a special offer for the bigger one as well. JS 2000 as well, which is the bigger jump pack, even more powerful one. That one is normally £70, but I think with a special offer it's £56. Again, with the code that she's given us. So I'll put again the details on the screen there and link in the description down below. But yeah, if you're struggling for ideas for Christmas, one of these little jump packs is a good idea. They have actually given me a special offer on the BT800 diagnostics machine as well, that you see me using the videos all the time. So if that's something you're looking to get, a diagnostics machine, I'll put the special offer up on that underneath in the link, in video description as well. But I'll put it on screen as well now. That's down from what I believe £240 to £192, I think. So decent discount on that one as well. So yeah, get to the link in the video description down below to see all the details. So while Pete's faffing with the Jag, I'm giving the final clean up on the little smart Roadster, giving it a ceramic coating with the GT Shine, and going through and just confirming all the things are working on this now, because it's a 2005, so blooming old. We've got to be careful about how much warranty we give on this, so I just want to video the fact that all the functionality is working. So they asked for both keys to be working, one of which wasn't. They asked for the aircon to be working, and the little button in the side that was having the car change from manual to auto wasn't working. They could still use the paddle shifts, they could still manually change up and down with the gear lever, but they wanted to full auto as well, which I don't recommend because it's a rubbish setting. I'm also going to put on the paperwork that it has to be kept in the dry, this, because they are renowned. It is a known fault. If you leave them out in the rain, the ECUs fill with water, so you've only got yourself to blame if you do that. So just to confirm the keys are working. So that's locking and unlocking. Second one is locking and unlocking. Roof, Oh, sorry, that's boot. Boot is working on that one. Just close it again and make sure it's definitely working. This is worth doing with your cars and recording it if you are trading, because you want to prove that all the functionalities were working when the car went out the door, and you can't just have it on your word that it was. What's the other? There's another one for the, if you double do it, I think that does the roof. Is there one that does the roof? I can't remember which one. No, that's the boot, isn't it? Right, I confirm the roof is working. And the other way. So that is working. And then the aircon is cold, which is going to be hard for me to show you guys. It's cold. We've got it on cold. Aircon on, full bore. We can hear the pump or whatever it is kicking in. And it is nice and cold. The heated seats we know are working. We've tested those before. They do warm right up. I don't know as much as, oh yeah, check that they all go into this auto. So if we go across, it's my foot on the brake, if we go across, it's already in auto. If I do that, it goes into manual. So if I hit the button, it should go back into auto again. Oh, is that the way it works? Yeah, auto, there we go. So it's in auto, manual. Seems a bit hit and miss. We might need to have another look at that. I thought the boys had fixed it. I don't know what's going on with this car. That was working fine. Now I've taken the handle off. I'm actually pressing the switch, because before it was just that wasn't contacting with the switch. But now I'm putting my finger on the switch and it doesn't want to do it. This car is cursed. It does not want to get out the door. First it throws a crank sensor for the first customer, doesn't it? And now, after being told, well, it was fixed, it was working, and now it's not working again. Oh, I've had it with this car, I really have. Is it that micro switch that's gone now? Perhaps it's just finally given up the ghost. We're going to have to get it back down to Moors again. Which means that cleaning was a total waste of time this morning. Oh, old cars. Don't sell old cars, guys. Right, I put it on charge just in case it's something electrical, because that alternator belt is new. It was done by the boys down at Motorworks a while ago. They fit a new alternator belt and new alternator. So I'm wondering if the reason that was squealing away is because it's not got a lot of power. Possibly, does that make sense? So anyway, just to eliminate that fault, we'll make sure the battery's fully charged up and try that again. But if it's not working after that, I really haven't got the heart to take it down and faff around with it again. Clearly, whatever it is could be intermittent. So if I get it working again, it goes out to the customer, and then they come back to me on it again. I'll be doing it all over again. The trouble with these is, don't get me wrong, these are great cars to have. They're great fun to own, but you've got to buy them knowing you're buying an old car and it's going to have problems and some of the features might not work. When you start trying to retail it, people don't accept those things. So it becomes a big pain in the bum. So it might be that this is more, it makes more sense as a raffle car really, where I'm not having to warranty it. Because it's still a good car, you know, flipping out, what have we done to it? I've had the alternator replaced, had it serviced, had an advisory-free MOT, had the air-con pipe replaced, had it regassed. It drives absolutely fine, it's just that one little thing now. And like I say, I don't really think that someone should be even using that anyway, because it's absolutely appalling. It's kind of like, the full auto is you kind of wait and think, should have changed ages ago, then it does, and it's like really slow, whereas you do the manuals and you come off the gas a bit in between, works a lot better. Forget, I've had a call from Moors, the blue Sportage that I sold, that's gone for its MOT and that's ready to go now, as in its MOT, but it needs to come back in now, some paint rectification, and then that'll have its final valet tucked away, ready for that one to be picked up. So pretty much everything is sold, it's just in the process of final sort of finishing off, which is why I'm getting the extra hands in, because it'd be nice to have a quiet, I say it every year, don't I? It'd be nice to have a laid back December, but we'll see how it goes. So it's all valeted and crammed in here, ready for pickups. Hopefully we don't have to move them out in the rain too much. I don't like people picking up cars. And I guess people do pick up used cars in the rain all the time. Not all places have the ability to keep them inside, do they? So I imagine it's not actually the norm to pick up your car at this kind of price point from inside being clean and tidy. But obviously it's the way I like it at the moment. The sun's holding off. But it should be a busy Saturday doing all the handovers. We've got a couple of viewings going on as well. So I'll see how I cope with that, because I was hoping Brooke might be able to come along, but she's a bit busy today, unfortunately. So, as always goes the same way, everyone turned up at once wanting to pick their cars up. People that I hadn't arranged with turned up, the same people as I had arranged. So bit of a mental Saturday morning doing handovers. So the white Hyundai went out, the Zafira went out, that's been handed over, and the Toyota Yaris went out, that's been handed over. I've got some part exchanges that I'll show you a little bit later on. Someone came by, drove the BMW and bought that, so that is sold. That's just got to have an MOT and then go out the door. And someone is out on test drive at the moment in the Ford Focus. It was a full family. I made the decision to let them out on their own on that and taking liability for any damage. So they're out in the Ford Focus. Already left a deposit on that car. So unless there's something seriously wrong, they know the price, they know the car, they saw the video. They even saw the video of the issue I had with the customer on it, and they've had a look over the paintwork and they're absolutely happy with it. Absolutely happy with it. Just shows you again, you know, if you're getting someone that's being a bit troublesome, your best bet is reverse the deal, get the car back and just sell it to somebody else, because you're going to find someone, unless you are selling something that's dodgy in some way, you are going to find it a good buyer. But the part exchanges are nice cheapies. I have traded one out and taken another car in part exchange against that, because I asked the guy, he does higher end stuff than me. I said, you haven't got any cheapies you want to have? And he said, oh, well, I've got a Suzuki Vitara I've just taken in. So that's a good result for me. If I get out of a more expensive car that I find aren't selling as a general rule, point in case, and get into a cheap little 4x4 with the winter coming in, that seems a smart move to me. But I'll touch base with you in a minute, let you know, that blooming door, let you know how the Ford Focus has gone. Right guys, the lady really wanted the Brabus, so I thought I'd have another go at trying to see if I can sort this. So over to first, hit the button, automatic, first, automatic, first, automatic, first, automatic. So I'll tell you what I did. I pulled the gear knob off. I took this top section off so I could see this pin going in and out. Now on other Brabus models, they did a video where they put a metal pin, they burnt a metal pin into the end of the plastic pin to give it a longer press. Now that wouldn't work on these Brabus ones, because on the other ones you could take the whole side off and get to that pin out of the car. On mine, I had a gap sort of that big to be able to see it. I'm not going to take it off and show you now for fear of it going wrong again. But what I did is I used my my two-part epoxy plastic adhesive stuff, and I managed to get the nozzle down just onto the end of the tip of the plunger and put a little blob on there, and then use another little paint stick to sort of work it around until it just increased it by a tiny amount. And then I did the same thing on the micro switch instead, on the end of the micro switch inside, on the end of the micro switch instead inside, I put another little blob, just so I put like probably about that much more between the two surfaces, and that seems to have sorted it. So it's working. So busy old Saturday, sun's going down as normal. I got caught up gassing to people before I updated you on what's happened. The Ford Focus has sold. So today we sold the BMW and we sold the Ford Focus. Those cars went out as well. Got one more to be picked up there, one more in there to be picked up. Hopefully sort out the smart car and get that picked up as well. So that was good. So yeah, we're getting short in there. Only what we've got left for sale in here. The Adam, which just went through its MOT advisory free, so we'll machine polish that, get that rephotographed for sale. Still got that Citroen C1. We haven't done anything advertising the Barchetta yet, so there's 3 left in there. We've got the couple of vans left to sell. Haven't advertised the Nissan yet. We'll get that done on Monday. Not shifting the Ford Fusion, put it at $19.95 now, which I think is dirt cheap in the current market for a car with a brand new advisory free MOT and 90,000 miles on 2007, but no interest yet. So what have we done? We just bought this. Oh, well, before I get to that, let me explain where it came from. Oh no, I can't. I've let it go. That's just happened that quickly. I took in a 2018 Toyota Igo against the Zafira and ended up paying the guy money for the deal, but I'd already had it underwritten with a dealer friend of mine, like some more expensive stuff. I don't want to link that in because it was going to be about 8 grandish. So I sold that to him. I'd already agreed that before I did the deal on the Zafira, and he was going to come and pick it up. But then I said to him, you haven't got anything kicking around that might be use to me, have you? And he said, oh, I've just taken in a Suzuki Vitara on a 2009 that isn't in bad nick, he says. And it's actually really nice condition. Luckily, the light for you is better on camera than it is here. I let the other one go, didn't I? When I was overstocked, I let the green one go with the dent in the boot. And I wish I hadn't, because about 10 minutes after I let it go, someone came looking for a cheap one. I put them on to my mate who I sold it to, sold it at a really fat profit straight away. So I kind of regretted that. So this one, it's got a bad bonnet. It's got a flaky bonnet on it, which needs painting. But the rest of it's in really nice condition. He knows the car quite well. He got last MOT he advised for a crusty subframe, so we'll probably wire brush that down and get a new MOT on it. But coming into the winter, this is bang on a type of car. Another 2.4 petrol. Yeah, bodywork wise, other than that, it's in really nice condition. I forget what the mileage is. It's sub 100 as well, I think, that one, if I remember rightly. I haven't got the keys on me, have I? Let me just double check I haven't got the keys on me. Oh, I might have, hold on. He drove it over to me. He's a good guy. I know him well. I have no concerns that it won't drive nicely. We're going to see what the mileage is. How do we check what the mileage is? Hold on. Get that off. Stereo works. 57,000 miles. Oh, didn't know it only had 57 on it. Oh, I got it at a good price then with 57 on it. Nice, I like that. MOT's due in a couple of months. That will be an easy 3k for me, if not more. I'd have thought 3495. I'd have thought with the bonnet painted and a fresh MOT. I say we'll get it up, probably get Pete to wire brush the underside of it, stone chip all that, and then that'll be a good bit of retail stock for this time of year. The other car I took in part exchange was the Honda the transfer on the splash happened, so I've got that, so you know about that one already if you watch my videos regularly. But then we took this 2010 Toyota Yaris in, which is going to be a bang on bit of stock for me. I think it's had around about 100,000 miles on it, maybe less, I can't remember. Is it open? Does it say what the mileage is? I haven't got the keys on me. Condition wise, really nice, loads of history. The chap had the other Toyota Yaris, the newer one, off me, and the only reason he did it is he fancied a newer shape one. I've test driven it, it drives really nicely. I think it's the TR because it's got the alloys on it, the colour's right, mileage is good. That should be a good seller for me. Again, that'll be like a 3.5k car, which is where I want to be going into December. In December, what I find is that people that need cars in December need a car because theirs is written off. You get a lot of write-offs around here in the winter because country roads, ice, all that kind of stuff. They need a car quite urgently, but it's normally limited budget. So if you've got lots of cheapies around, they sell well. By that I mean like 3k cars. So we got that one in part X. Oh, and we've just picked up this as well. Another Suzuki Swift. This one came via a main dealer. And the mileage on this is mega low, like 30,000 miles. I want to say it was their demo car when they were selling these new, and they spec'd it out with every extra. They had the roof wrapped. They had the alloy wheels put on it. It's got a few other gizmos on it. I think it's got cruise control, those kind of things. They had the wing mirrors wrapped. The only problem is the roof has started to peel, so we need to get all this off and then get the glue off, and hopefully we won't have to paint. And the lacquer peel on the rear spoiler, it had the rear spoiler fitted, but this is only the 1.2, so it's the right engine size. Unfortunately, it's a 3-door, not a 5-door, which puts some people off. But that should be a decent seller for me, I'd have thought. Our Ford Focus is back with an advisory free MOT. That will get validated on Monday, up for sale. So the long and short of it, guys, is it's been really, really busy. Really busy. Everything's been selling, especially that 5k, sub 5k small car market. So this video's really just been a big update because I've been quiet for about a week. I've not put a video out, I don't think. And this is why I've just been flat out. Because remember, as I always say, I'm a car dealer who does YouTube, not a YouTuber who does car dealing. The business comes first. That's what makes the money, keeps the doors on. Speaking of which, I've got the lights on here for no reason at all. How far did we get with stuff in here? Not very far. Pete put the rear axle in to the MGB, and He's got it all done, got all the handbrake done. It's all nice, lovely, nice and new underneath here now. You probably won't be able to see, it's too dark. But it's all lovely and new underneath here now. I started on the front. I should have just dropped the subframe out and cut my subframe because this subframe has a cutout in it for the MX-5 engine. I should have just dropped that one down, cut this fresh subframe that I had everything built up on and put that in. But instead I decided to take each side off and put each side on to the modified subframe. So I started doing that. You've got your lever arms up here, all new kingpins, new disc pads, everything. I'm going to put the uprated anti-roll bar I've got in it. So I've got to swap over both sides. I have to say this is more fiddly than putting it all on one subframe. But hindsight's 2020. Hopefully we'll get this finished off on Monday. And then we'll be having our first test drive on it. Next stage, of course, is get it turbocharged. So, as always, should I take that home tonight? As always, massive thanks for watching the channel. Hopefully we'll have a bit more of that. We'll get that cleaned up down and get that MOT'd. That we're not going to do much on for a while. Hopefully we'll get this finished off. That's another small car that needs to be picked up, I mentioned earlier. So there'll be a lot of new car shopping going on as well. We need to completely restock with cheapies. So as said, massive thanks for watching as always. And we'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.